with Barnes and Leslie. 99X.
Mentioned we were on vacation, last week, and this trend unfolded while we were away, and I thought I would try it. And have you heard yet of raw dogging?
No. Am I going to get... Oh, yeah. What is this now?
Raw dogging is not bad. Like, you're already thinking I'm going you there.
Okay.
It's this thing that mostly guys right now are doing where they get on long-haul flights. And the reason I picked up on it because I had a 9-hour flight back from France.
Okay.
Raw dogging is where you look at nothing but your flight screen.
The whole time?
The entire time you stare at the screen and you watch the little move of the plane go through.
For 8 hours?
You don't sleep. You don't look at your iPad. You don't listen to a podcast. This is the new thing that's all over. And I thought, what a great thing for me to try.
Why? But what are the benefits? I'm confused.
Well, I can't tell you because I bailed 4 minutes in. This is a dumbest trend. Some people call it flying raw. Some people call it going bareback. I call it you're a flippin' idiot.
Is it an endurance test?
I don't know, but I don't need to learn how to do it.
Yeah, I'm impressed you lasted 4 minutes.
I went in there full on thinking, all right, I'm going to do this thing. This sounds like easy. I mean, we took off and I was looking around going, what the hell am I thinking? Can't do it.
Yeah, I'm like watching 2 movies in a row, playing cards.
You got people doing time. I wonder how many people are cheating them, but doing these time-lapse videos of them raw dogging. So that's the thing. If you see someone on a flight and they're just staring at their screen, that's what's happening.
I don't know anyone that's done that.
Yeah, forget it. But I rewind back to our last couple days. We were driving to this small town because I had finished my shoot, and my wife is an antique dealer, so we have to hit these little villages, right?
Which is so cool.
It's so cool. I love it. That's my favorite part. So we're going to these villages, and we're about an hour outside of one of them called Ile-sur-le-Sorgue. Oh, no, not Ile-sur-le-Sorgue. Pézenas. And I look over, and I'm the official Uber driver on this part of the leg because she's working.
Yeah, you are the Uber driver.
She's tired, Leslie, so I need to do it while she looks at Instagram and barebacks. She barebacks Instagram. So we're driving, and we get about an hour left. I said, where are we staying tonight? And she's like, hold on, stand by. She didn't book us a place to stay. So now,
because she normally is the one that does that.
On it. Like, that's not my department. So we start calling around these hotels. She does nothing. They're full because of this big event with all these antique people.
Are you sleeping in the car?
So we got nothing. So I'm thinking, and then she doesn't look too concerned about it. She's, flipping through Instagram. I'm like, can you put your story down for just a second? We have nowhere to stay. And I'm the one who's going to be sitting like in the middle of nowhere with nowhere to go because she's going to this event. And
I know how you are.
Well, I need.
Oh boy!
Just give me some internet, I'll be okay.
Yes,
but don't just. Yes. What am I going to do? Park in a parking lot? So she's looking, and she finds a couple places, and they're both castles. So
she found a castle,
like legit, full on a castle that they had converted to maybe, I don't even know, 20 rooms. And I'm like, okay,
sweet.
Now you're talking. You found me a castle. Excellent. It's like 3 minutes outside of town, whatever.
You're feeling good now.
You're feeling good. So I drop her off at her thing, and I head over to my castle, Leslie, where I go, and it's not a full-service hotel. So it's, they check you in and everything, but they basically say, here's your skeleton key, and you go.
You're in a castle.
You're in your castle. And I'm like, hey, do you have massages? They're like, yeah, absolutely. And so I'm thinking, well, what better? I've got to kill 4 hours while I wait for her, so I'll get a massage. So I'm like, she gives me the numbers. She gives me 3 to call. And of course, they don't speak any English. So I'm trying to do my translator app and just say I want a massage, the whole thing.
I love the translator app.
So in the middle, I posted a picture on my story. You might have seen it if you look at my account ever, Barnesology on Instagram. I'm sitting at a picnic table with a castle in the background. You see that? And I'm waiting for my massage lady to come. So she comes, and they have like a special room there even for the massage, and it's very narrow. It almost looks like maybe they took a closet and made it.
It sounds like a closet.
Right. It's super narrow, and they have like a massage table, but not much room around, and this is a key point here. So the lady comes, we go into the room, and she speaks no English. And I'm like, yeah, and she's trying to say, how hard do I want it? And I'm like, well, hard. Like, I don't want you to get a feather out and be like, tap, 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 you feel good? And so I'm trying to say, hard. I'm like putting up my arm like, tough, like hard. And she's like, okay. I mean, all she can say is okay, and that's about it, and no. So she's standing there, and I'm standing there, And I had on like shorts and a t-shirt or whatever.
And you're like, what's next?
And I'm like, okay. Well, and again, when you can't
Who's
speak
making
the
the first
language.
move?
Who's making the first move? And I'm standing there and she's looking at me and I'm like, do you want me to get on the table? And she's like, she taps the table and the table had no cover on it. So it was just like
Just a table?
the bed, and it had no face hole. So like you couldn't put your face in the hole. You just she put a little wimpy towel like in a circle, like you're making, like a bad Caribbean hotel puts that stuff on your bed like a swan.
That's not comfortable.
I'm supposed to put my face in that? And so she's still just standing there looking at me, and I'm like, okay, well, how do I? So I get my translate out. And I'm like, on table, because you're kind of like fumbling because it's all happening in the moment. On table, and I turn it to her, and she says, "Oui, oui," and I'm like,
okay.
and then I stand there like, okay, like, are you gonna go out?
This is so uncomfortable.
Are you gonna walk? And how do you put all that in the translator app? And I'm like, I'm staring at her. It's like a stare down. And so I type, I'm trying to do as few words as possible. And I go, N-O-W, now. And I hold it up to her. And she goes, oui, oui. And I was like, how do I say, well, there's nothing on the table. And do you want me to take all my clothes off? And so I was...
Did you type that in the translator?
No, because that would have taken too long. And so I pointed to my shirt, my shorts, and I go, off? Like if I say it slower, she's going to translate to English. I was like, off? And I was like, I'm pointing at it, and I was like pushing away from me, like, get rid of them. And she's like, oui. And at that point, I'm like, oh my God, either I'm going to get arrested for indecency or she's just full on French and this is how they do it. And I don't know
and
the
you're
answer.
in a little closet with a French massage, a
within
masseuse.
2 feet of this woman.
So
She looked like Aunt Matilda. Like, she looked like she was probably 60 and...
She's like Mrs. Doubtfire?
Mrs. Doubtfire, the French version of Mrs. Doubtfire.
So what do you do?
So finally I'm like, how long can I don't know how to communicate, so I just took all my clothes off. And,
you did?
Yeah.
Wait,
and
completely?
she didn't blink an eye. Like,
wait.
I guess it's the norm.
Completely?
Completely. Well, that's what you do in a massage, but usually they cover you. So she...
Okay, you're brave.
And I'm like...
You are brave.
I don't know, Matilda. And I'm like, what's going to happen? Like, is
there a towel around?
Is Chris Harrison going to come in, or whoever the guy... Not Chris Harrison. Who's the guy that comes and, like, busts you for, like... I wasn't doing anything wrong, but still, I'm like, is this a setup? Am I being punked? But I'm in the middle of nowhere.
Is there a towel?
There's no towel. And there's...
So you're...
Bare back comes back into play. So she goes, and then she points to the table again, and she said, I think she said face down. She put her like face plant up and was like down. And thankfully, magically, a blanket appeared. But that whole transaction, full Monty, and she's just looking at me like, I guess that's how they do it.
So, did you tell Heather this story?
No, but I'm sure she'll hear it.
Oh, no, so Heather's going to hear it on the radio.
Well, I didn't even want to hear about it. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? I can't speak these people's language.
You really wanted a massage.
So, the massage was just okay. It was just okay.
Matilda, come on.
And so we go through the massage, and I guess this is the difference in French massage and American massage. She goes through, and there's nothing, weird happening. And we get to the other side, she starts massaging my stomach.
What?
And I guess that's a thing there. She was like doing like circular. I'm like, what? And what am I going to say?
She wants to see how much bread you were inhaling.
Oh, enough. Do you feel those 78 cookies I had? No, but she's like doing like, and I'm going to say, getting dangerously close to glory. Matilda, if Matilda had another inch-long fingernail, I was like, okay, this is not going to go well.
And you're in a closet in France.
Luckily, nothing happened. But then she gets off. Matilda pulls the blanket off. And she's like, done. So she finally breaks out some English. And I'm like, so what? Now I just get up, bareback, full on? And she just stood there.
At this point, where's your wallet to pay her? Like, what's going on here?
I felt like I was just with like a prostitute or something. Because she's like, okay, and you pay. Then you're like, and it was only €60.
So... does this make you want to have like a massage again in France? This is bizarre.
Only if Matilda was like 25 years younger, maybe, and blonde and looked like Reese Witherspoon. Maybe. It might be a cheap thrill. But the lesson learned, if you're going to Europe, be ready for what massage
so uncomfortable
brings you.